Hello guys, good evening and welcome to the second pre-season race here for the new Formula 2 season. Today we are around the circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. That is where we're at. I was about to say in COTA, but it's actually called COTA. That would have been a foolish mistake for me to make. 5.5 kilometers this track is, as it is also 20 corners, as we have 16 drivers in at the moment, all looking to end the pre-season on a high note, and of course as they prepare themselves for the upcoming F2 season. I am your commentator for this evening, Ivory Mike. When it comes to F2, my knowledge isn't great, but I have learned a bit extra since last week, so hopefully the comms will be a little bit better than what they were last week. So starting to ready up now, we'll go into one-shot qualifying, then into the feature race, and then into the sprint race. So one-shot qualifying, who's going to be the one putting it on pole position? Only time will tell. So as previously stated, a lot of these guys, they're going to want to end the preseason on a high note to carry that momentum on into the opening round next week. So we'll see who's going to come out on top. Of course, two divisions now in the Formula 2 side of things in Liga Europe. And with two divisions, that's double the action, double the fun. And it's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be a very interesting season, I think, with the two divisions. You're going to see a lot of good action in both Division 1 and Division 2. Of course, the Lobby 1 race is also being streamed right now, so if you guys want to jump on over and have a little look at that, go tell them that Mike sent you, and now we will get ourselves underway here for one shot qualifying. And it looks like Pharrell Fury is going to be the man leading up into turn 1, just overtaken there by Turbo Klaus, and RJW right now currently holding the lead. We're going to go on board with Old School 3000 as he runs through the S's, and of course the super soft compound tyre on these guys right now on the high tech that Old School 3000 is currently in. It's a lovely silver bullet, I would say, as we head down now into the hairpin. Looks like it's a close battle right now between RJW and Old School 3000 as they run down this DRS straight, the longest straight on the track. You're going to see a lot of overtaking here as we go into turn number 12. RJW still holding that advantage, and it's a 110.8 in the middle sector there from Old School 3000 as we head now into the infamous Gusto Wind corner, where we saw Nico Rosberg a few years back in the what season was it? I think it was 2015, where he lost the back end and lost his championship hopes and dreams. As we go now into the penultimate corner, keeping it all valid on track. Old School taking the lead, and now as we go for the final corner, it's all about the traction. DRS wide open, and it looks like RJW's just pinched it on the line there with a 46.2. So RJW setting the initial pace there. So we'll go through the order. So RJDW, I just know him as RJW, but RJDW right now on pole position ahead of Old School 3000 in seconds, less than a tenth separating those two up front. Then we got Dirt Tim in third, Jordan in fourth, Pharrell Fury in fifth, Heated in sixth, Alex in seventh, Ghost Recon in eighth, Turbo in ninth, Ibo in 10th. Then the guys who unfortunately invalidated their lap times, we got Mushroom, Cloudy Cloud, Cam K, Hartman, Kieran and Jasper. And now we're gonna get excited because now we have the featured race, and I'm just gonna have a little look at the chat and see what's going on. We got J. Cole in the chat showing support for Old School 3000 there. J. Cole, one of the fine members of the commentary team on the F1 side of things, has done F2 in the past as well, so he does know a thing or two about the F2 races. But it's nice to see him in the chat. So all looking very sunny out there right now, so no weather to come into play here, which is good for everyone. It's going to help keeping penalties down to a minimum, but this plays very easy to pick up those track extensions. As we go on the formation lap, let's have a look at the tire selection. A lot of guys opting for the medium compound tires. We got Old School there on the Super Softs, the purple wall tires. It's very strange for me to see the purple wall tires and immediately not think Ultra Softs from a few seasons back in the F1 days, but the Super Softs are what they are in F2. But a lot of guys out there on the mediums, very few on the Super Softs. We got Cloudy Cloud, Turbo, Alex and Old School on the Super Softs, so they're going to be looking to stretch their advantage early on and hopefully maintain their lead when these guys on the mediums pit onto a faster compound to come back at them at the end of the race. So of course next week the F2 season will be underway, and we will be able to get this championship going, and round one is going to be Shakir in the Bahrain desert, so we're heading to Bahrain for round number one. Very different track, Bahrain to the Circuit of the Americas, so that'll provide its own challenges right there. And 10 tracks on the F2 calendar for this season, which means all the races are going to mean so much more. You're going to want to maximize both the feature and sprint races, try to get the best results possible, and of course the top 8 in the featured race will be reversed for the sprint race, so whoever wins will be starting in P8 as we got everyone now coming to the grid positions, and we wait to get this race, this featured race, underway. RJDW on pole position, 16 laps await the 16 drivers we have here today, and it's nice when things add up like that. Jasper will be at the back there, which is unfortunate for him, but here we go, we're getting ready now for the 5 red lights to get the featured race underway. Lights are out and we are underway, and it looks like Old School there not getting the best traction off the start. Dirt Tim and Jordan getting the jump on him early on. Dirt Tim down the inside is going to be able to get ahead, and it looks like Old School there taking a very inside line there. We were 3 wide there in the back with I believe Mushroom, Alex and Ghost Recon there. So we got Turbo just dropping down the order slightly. We've got Mushroom and Ghost there side by side. Absolutely great stuff to see. As Ghost going a little bit too deep, tapping the back of Alex and going for a spin there. Ghost recon around on lap 1. He's managed to rejoin, and he hasn't dropped all the way to the back, but he is almost at the back as we got Old School down the inside of Dirt Tim to get second place there, as we got Pharrell being swamped out of the hairpin. Swamped by Turbo, swamped by Alex and Mushroom, who is now up into 6th, as we got Turbo and Farrell side by side as they go down into turn 12, as Old School is still battling out with Dirt Tim for second place. We'll go back up to them. It looks like Old School with the inside line is going to be able to keep a hold of second place, and for Old School right now, he needs to get a move on those super soft tires, as we just saw Heated it down the inside. Fantastic move. They're still side by side, Jordan and Heated side by side. Still, it looks like Jordan may just have the upper hand. Yes, he does, as Dirt Tim gets a little bit out of shape, as we got Alex and Mushroom side by side. Looks like Mushroom just about holds on, as we got Cam K there getting the move done. I believe that was Cloudy Cloud going wide off the exit, and looks like Old School there. Oh, that's the timing glitch. I do apologise. I thought Old School had just dropped back, maybe had a little bit of a snap out of the final corner, but he is still currently in second. We wait for... Oh, is RJW's actually retired from the race? Hang on, oh my... Oh, he's lost it on the traction out of turn 1 into the wall on the left hand side. RJDW put it on pole position, was looking fine in the race lead, as Kieran picks up the first 3-second time penalty, but RJDW, unfortunately for him, retiring from the session, and that opens things up now for Old School 3000 to try and pull away, as these guys behind will begin to battle, as you got Jordan, Dirt Tim and Heated. Who is going to be close enough to make a move? Is he going to perhaps go for a lunge? Maybe not this time around. Oh, Mushroom there with a big old dive down the inside of Cloudy Cloud, but overshoots the corner, and that will allow Cloudy Cloud back through, and he'll open things up for Jasper to maybe have a little peek, maybe take the tighter line, minimize the exit, and maybe just try and get the move done, but unfortunately unable to do that, as we got RJ in the chat not happy, as we got Ghost and Cam K there side by side, as Mushroom and Jasper are ahead. And looks like, sorry, Ghost and Kieran were side by side. I do apologise. I was just about to ask RJ, what happened, mate? What happened at the exit of turn 1? Did you just lose the traction, or what was going on? But what was going on is we got Jordan and Dirt Tim side by side as they go through the SS, and that is Turbo, who has come into the pits and retired from the session. Oh, as looks like Jordan and Dirt Tim have come together and collided, both now out of the race. There's RJ in the chat saying he just completely lost it on traction. Mushroom's out as well. They're dropping like flies. Mushroom there losing it in the S section also. We're down to 11 and we're only on lap 3. Oh, this is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for the drivers involved there. Looks like Jordan and Dirt Tim just coming together as Turbo's actually left the session. Pharrell there gets right up underneath the rear wing there of Alex for what is now 3rd position, and Alex on those super soft tyres, Pharrell on the yellow walled medium, so you gotta think as the laps roll on, Pharrell should have the advantage, as we got Ghost, I think, just getting past Kieran there for P8, and it looks like still very close to the back of Alex. And Old School 3000 now into the pits, the first of the super soft runners into the pits, and he had a healthy 5-second lead because of what happened, as we just saw there with Jordan and Dirt Tim coming together in the SS. Well, down the inside into turn 1. He picks up a 3-second time pen, but he hasn't got the move done. Alex able to get the traction down around the outside, and he'll hold on to second for the time being, but it is only a matter of time, I think. And with DRS, Pharrell should be able to make this move stick as they run into turn 12, as Hartman picks up a 3-second time penalty. Lap 4 of 16, we've lost 5 drivers in this race so far. We lost RJW, who lost it on traction coming out of turn 1. Turbo came into the pits to retire, and then we had the collision between Dirt Tim and Jordan, which sent them both off into the wall at the start of the S's, and Mushroom there just getting a little bit further into the S's, but almost retiring immediately after the collision between Jordan and Dirt Tim. And it doesn't look like Pharrell is putting Alex under enough pressure yet. Kieran, a little bit of a wheel spin moment on the exit at 12 as he tries to close up to Ghost Recon. Nice little battle for P5 right now. Jasper leading ahead of Cloudy Cloud, Ghost and Kieran. They are all going to be scrapping it out, but Cloudy Cloud on a different strategy. Meanwhile, Old School has come out of the pits. He's in 11th right now on a fresh set of the mediums, and let's have a look at the gap between him and race leader. It is 21.3 seconds, and it is coming down. Cloudy Cloud just not close enough to Jasper. Neither is Kieran the Ghost. And we got Pharrell, who seems to be much more comfortable in the S's. As long as he can get a good run now at the top of the hill as we run down towards the hairpin. As long as he can get a good run, he can put Alex under pressure here. But you just see Alex, he's got the better line there at the top of the hill, and I think that might save him. But we'll stay on board to see if he can close up with DRS. I do see that Kieran is pretty close to Ghost, and it doesn't look like... Oh, actually a very late lunge here from Pharrell here over the curb, but unable to get the move done now. Ghost breaks a slipstream. Here goes Kieran now to the outside. Is he going to be able to get the move done? It looks like... Oh, very close stuff there, but it looks like Ghost has held on as Pharrell has managed to get himself ahead of Alex now, and I think those super soft tyres are absolutely shot, so we're going to be seeing Alex possibly peel off into the pits, and it's not actually going to be this lap, so he may stay up for another lap. And what a run out of penultimate corner there. Kieran guesses Ghost is into the pits, and so is Cloudy Cloud. A longer pit stop than usual. Are we going to see any front wings out for anyone, or is this just a scheduled pit stop? A longer pit stop than usual here in F2 when compared to F1. It looks like a front wing change there from Ghost Recon, and a switch over to the super soft tyres as Old School now on the back of Hartman. Hartman yet to make a pit stop, as it looks like Old School there is just trying some different lines out And looks like he's going to get him here on the run down to the hairpin. Oh, he picks up a 3-second time penalty, but that's going to be... I don't think that's going to be as critical right now for Old School, as his closest competitors also have penalties to their name. So Alex trying to keep up with Farrell there, unable to stay on the back. As Old School now starting to make his way through the field, and what's the gap between him and the race leader now? It is 20.6 seconds, so he's taken a bit of time out. He's taken about a second out since the last time we checked, and Alex is now into the pits. I'm expecting Alex to come out. He should be ahead of Cloudy Cloud. He should come out in P9, so we'll wait to see if that is the case. Should be comfortably out in P9 there for Alex, as the gaps have begun to form here. So we're at that stage of the race where it's all a bit dull. It's all a bit spread out. And when it's all a bit spread out, I turn my attention to the chat and see what you guys are saying. And RJW just saying that he didn't think it would happen so quickly, so he was expecting a loss of traction out of turn 1. But it's all good RJW. You still have the sprint race to redeem yourself, as does Jordan, Dirtim and Mushroom, as Ghost picks up another 3-second time penalty, currently down in 10th place. I'm kind of partial to stay on board with Old School right now, because he is in the net race lead, so we'll give him the screen time while everything is spread out. He is closing up to the back of Kieran, who is equally trying to close up to the back of Jasper, but Old School right now, it looks like he just has much more grip and a lot more pace right now, so we'll stay on board with Old School. Is he going to be in the DRS for the pit straight? Doesn't look like it. Not going to be in it this time around, but he should be in it for the back straight. And he has got tremendous traction there out of the final corner. 6 times the gap now between Old School and Kieran. Kieran, he's gaining on Jasper ever so slightly. Ever so slightly indeed, as Old School now just over 3 tenths behind Kieran. The battle for 5th between these guys. However, Old School is the net race leader, as we still got rate for Heated, Farrell, Fury, Cam K, Mum, Jasper and Kieran to make their pit stops, as well as Hartman, who is behind. And here goes Old School down the inside at the hairpin. And is he going to be able to get this done? It does look like he's got the traction. It does look like he is going to get it done. And here comes Kieran. He's got a bit of a tow from Jasper ahead. Old School out brakes, and is he going to make contact there with Jasper? Oh no, Old School. I think he just had a bit of a back end snap there on the exit of turn 12, but he's going to go around the outside of Kieran. Fantastic stuff there from Old School, and now he is up into 5th. Going to try and look to get past Jasper ASAP. The longer Old School spends time fighting with these guys, the better the chances are for Heated, Pharrell and... I'm saying his name different every single time. It's Farrell. Farrell and Camke, the better the chances they have of catching up to Old School once they make their pit stops. But here comes Old School with DRS wide open. Jasper defends the inside. Old School outbreaks him to go around the outside. Jasper picked up a 3-second time penalty, but Old School now up into 4th. And the gap has extended. It was 20.7 seconds. He's lost a second by battling with Jasper and Kieran. So Old School, they're not going to be too happy about that. We are going to check the penalties to see how everything is stacking up, and right now Hartman 21 seconds of time penalties. He's going to be borderline disqualification territory, as we got Kieran now on the back of Jasper. DRS wide open. Looks like Jasper's got a good enough run out of the hairpin, as we got Camgay getting through on Farrell there for second place. So Camgay now up into second place here, 9 seconds off the back of Heated, who is our race leader, but our net race leader is Old School 3000, as we just had Smitsky in the chat there showing support for Mark, aka Old School 3000. We got a few battles going on. Ghost on the back of Cloudy for P9, so it looks like Farrell, is he going to be close enough to maybe try something? I don't think he will be. Let's have a bit of, oh, he's actually gone for a late lunge here down the inside. And will Camgay, oh, is that Heated? Heated up ahead, losing the back end, and Heated is down into 3rd place. Heated possibly being the only man who could really take the battle there to Old School at the end of the race. Loses the back end out of turn 1 and drops down into 3rd. Heated losing a lot of time there. He had almost a 10-second gap to these two, battling for what is now the race lead. Farrell Fury and Camgay Mum. And look at the advantage now that Old School 3000 will have. He's only 10 seconds behind the race. Well, he's about 11 seconds behind the race leader. I'll quickly confirm that. Oh, he's 10.6 behind the race leader, and they have to make a pit stop. Heated may have possibly just thrown away winning the featured race here, because on fresher tyres he was going to have a good opportunity to come back at Old School 3000, as we got Ghost getting through on Cloudy Cloud there through the S's, as we got Jasper and Kieran side by side. Looks like Jasper able to hold on to P5 for the time being, as Kieran gets right up underneath that rear wing. Looks like he may be close enough to try look for a better exit, but he hasn't got the better exit, so he's going to have to stick behind Jasper for a little bit longer. And Heated is now into the pits. Absolute heartbreak for Heated in that high-tech car. Absolute heartbreak for him. Let's see what he's going to come out to. He's got front wing damage as well, so he's hit the wall, picked up wing damage. New front wing goes on. Jasper also into the pits behind. So Alex is going to be decently ahead, and it looks like, oh, it's going to be close, but Heated just getting out ahead of Jasper. So Heated is, it's going to be close between him and Kieran, I'd say, as well. But it looks like Heated may struggle to get himself back up into a podium position. It's Camgay once again trying to close up to Farrell Fury, and probably not going to be close enough. However, we are seeing some pretty late lunges down the inside. But Camgay sticks behind us. We've got Alex now on the back of Hartman. Hartman yet to make a pit stop, and Alex now right underneath that rear wing. DRS wide open. This should be a relatively simple overtake now with DRS, and job done there for Alex in the Carlin, getting himself up into P5 and is possibly actually right now in a net second place. I believe he is in a net second. Hang on. 26 seconds as we got Farrell into the pits, and so is Kamke. Farrell picking up a 5 second speeding penalty. That is not going to help his cause, as Old School will now cross the line to take the race lead here on lap 12 of 16. So Old School 3000 into the race lead. Where is Alex? Alex now coming for the final corner. Farrell and Kamke have just been released from their pit boxes. Here comes Alex now up towards turn 1. This is going to be close. There they are. They're on the left, and Alex gets out just ahead of Farrell and Kamke. So Alex now up into second place, but Farrell and Kamke on super soft tyres going to be hunting him down and heated. They're losing a lot of time due to that spin and front wing change, and Jasper comes out just ahead of Kieran as they go into turn 1. And looks like Jasper and Kieran will be resuming their battles, as it looks like Ghost there pitting for repairs from the looks of things, as they go there cruising around in 11th place, and battle is on now for the podium positions. Alex, Farrell and Kamke. Of course, Farrell having picked up that 5 second speeding penalty in the pit lane, he is going to drop back through the order, but this is crucial for Alex and Kamke, because this is, you know, Farrell is going to play a factor here. 16 seconds the gap between this battle for second. Oh, so Old School picks up another 3 second time penalty. Bearing in mind Heated was 10 seconds ahead of Farrell and Kamke's battle before losing the back end, breaking his front wing on the exit of turn 1. So bear that in mind. Heated would have been about 6 seconds behind Old School, with a good possibility of catching him, and with that penalty it would have made the gap only 3 seconds needed to catch up. As here goes Kamke now with the overspeed down the inside into turn 1. Gonna break later. Is Alex gonna get the switchback line? They're gonna be side by side now as they go through the S's. Who is gonna yield? Neither one of them wants to yield. And it is going to be Alex who yields, as he just gives a little bit of a love tap there to the back of Kamke. Hopefully no front wing damage there for the Carlin. It looks all good. But Alex there, oof, very close to the back of Kamke. And look at that, Farrell, because of that battle, has been able to open up a 3 second gap. So this is not over. Farrell on those super soft tyres, he could extend the gap large enough to knock Alex off a podium position here. We can't rule it out. And Heated, what could have been for him, currently in P5, what it could have been indeed. But we'll stick on this battle for P3 between Kamke and Alex. It looks like Alex now, the pace of those super soft tyres really helping Kamke extend that gap to Alex, as Farrell sets a new fastest lap in the Prima. It is a 1:48 flat, and he is closing in rapidly on Old School, but the penalties will play a factor for him. He may be able to extend the gap to stay on the podium, however. Let's actually have a little look at the gap that he needs. 14 seconds, okay, I didn't know it was that much. I'll be completely honest, I didn't know it was that hefty of a penalty situation there for Farrell. We do have a nice little battle going on for P10 right now between Ghost and Cloudy Cloud. Both incredibly familiar with each other over the seasons here in League of Europe. Both incredibly familiar with each other. They've raced each other for many seasons here in League of Europe, and it's good to see. It doesn't matter if it's F1 or if it's F2, these two still give you some good battling against each other, and that's what we love to see. As Ivo has actually made another pit stop. Ivo possibly could have managed to jump Hartmann on penalties if he didn't make that pit stop, and yeah, he could have. What was he, like 16 seconds behind Cloudy Cloud, who's... Ooh, actually it would have been close. I think he was just outside the penalty range, with of course his own penalty. Everything now kind of calmed down as Alex picked himself up a 3-second time penalty, and that's actually might give he did a bit of hope here of being able to get P4, because they're both level on penalties. He could potentially close up, as we got Frankie in the chat loving what Jasper is doing right now in P7. But of course we still have the sprint race to go, as he there picks up another 3-second time penalty. So there's the commentator curse right there for you in pre-season. But what we're going to do, we're going to go on board with Old School 3000. There's no close battles going on track, so we'll just go on board with our race leader, who's driven fantastically, has been able to keep out of trouble. RJDW had a pretty healthy lead before losing the back end at turn 1 at the start of this race, and then we had Jordan and Dirt Tim, who were not too far behind the Old School, losing, both of them crashing out of the race due to contact in the S's, allowing Old School a healthy lead before making his pit stop. And then the only person I think that could have possibly challenged that would have been he did in the other high-tech car, and he's currently in 5th, but he did, losing the back end and just losing hand over fist. He was 10 seconds ahead of Farrell and Kamke. He would have been comfortably out in 2nd place if he didn't make that mistake, and he would have been able to close up to the back of Old School 3000, and we would have had a nice battle for the race victory between Heated and Old School. But it is Old School right now on the final lap of the featured race. We come down towards turn 12 once again. Old School, all he's got to do is just keep it nice and calm. As long as he doesn't lose it, he should keep it. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's not pushing it. He knows he's got Farrell done on penalties. He doesn't need to push the car. He doesn't need to overstretch the boundaries. As we go through turns 16, 17 and 18, now into turn 19, the penultimate corner on the final lap. And now through the final corner, it is going to be Old School 3000 who will pick up the win here in the featured race. Farrell will cross the line in 2nd, but he will lose out massively due to penalties, as Kamke will inherit that P2 as he crosses the line now, and Alex should be on that final step of the podium. just wasn't close enough. In fact, look how close it was actually between Alex and Farrell there. Only 4 attempts between them. So Farrell doing a fantastic job. It comes home in 5th. Kieran in 6th. Jasper coming to the line as we got Ghost and Hartman side by side on the final lap. Ghost making a late move to get himself up into P8 on track. He was going to jump Hartman on penalties anyway as Jasper comes home in 7th, but Ghost will come over to cross the line in 8th place on track. And can Cloudy Cloud get P9 from Hartman? We'll find out now as he comes to the line. He does, and he also gets P8 from Ghost Recon. So Cloudy Cloud will start at the front for the sprint race as we got Ibo now coming through the final sector. And what a featured race here that we have had in pre-season. As we got Alt Maverick, Rip RPG for Ghost. It's unfortunate. Ghost was looking good, but unfortunately it just wasn't meant to be. And support for Old School 3000, who has won the featured race. He will be starting in P8 in the sprint race. But there we go, Ibo will cross the line. Cam K Mum will get the in-game driver of the day, as we got Hartman in the chat saying the track limit set to impossible. Hartman there really was finding it impossible to keep within the track limits there. Over 20 seconds of penalties to his name, but that man, Old School 3000, is on the top step of the podium in the featured race. Will he be on the top step again when it comes to the sprint race? Will RJW be able to redeem himself after his turn 1 spin? Can Heated redeem himself after that spin, which took him out of a possible race winning battle between him and Mark? But we will see what happens as we got Old School there, our winner, ahead of Can K, Alex in 3rd, Farrell in 4th, Heated in 5th, Kieran in 6th, Jasper comes home in 7th, and it will be an old Trident front row there with Jasper and Cloudy Cloud 7th and 8th, Ghost in 9th, and 10th will go to Hartman. Ibo, the last finisher, in 11th. Then we have our DNFs, Mushroom, Jordan, Dirt Tim, Turbo, and RJDW. But fortunately for these guys, it is not over yet. They do have another opportunity here in the sprint race, so we'll wait and see what these guys are going to be able to do. As we got Frankie in the chat, giving a bit of emotional support there for Hartman, who's really struggling here at the Circuit of the Americas. But of course, Hartman, this is just pre-season, mate. Just shaking down the cobwebs, getting yourself psyched up for the start of the brand new season, which will take place next week at the Shakia International Circuit in the deserts of Bahrain. Doesn't look like Turbo has rejoined the session, which is unfortunate. Yeah, he is ghosted right now, so that is unfortunate there for Turbo, who's actually... Who is that in the wall? Ibo! Ibo, no! Ibo, the only person on the super soft tyres, losing it at the start of the formation lap. is not what you like to see. So, as previously stated, it is an all Trident front row there with a Cloudy Cloud and Jasper locking out the front row. Kieran in the Race Lab will be lining up in third. Then we got the High Tech car of Heated ahead of Farrell in the Prima. And then we got the Carlin of Alex ahead of the Dams of Cam K. Then we got the High Tech of Old School 3000 ahead of the second Dams of Ghost Recon. Then of course we got the, now this is where I'm gonna butch because I can't quite get the pronunciation right. I'm gonna say Charus. That's an absolute butcher. That's an absolute butcher. I do apologize. But we got Hartman and Ibo 10th and 11th. Then we got the Virtual C of Mushroom and Jordan in 12th and 13th. Then we got the other Carlin of Dirt Tim in 14th. Turbo, who is not here in the ART, and then of course we got RJW in the Campos Racing car at the back of the grid. Got Cloudy Cloud now coming around the final corner. Everyone will get into the grid positions to get this sprint race underway. 11 laps await these 15 drivers now. Hopefully things will turn out better for RJ, DW, Dirt Tim, Jordan and Mushroom. So I believe we have a little bit of a glitch here. Pretty sure, yeah. Right, so we're gonna get ready for these 5 red lights for one more time here at the Circuit of the Americas. Here we go. 3, 4, 5. 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway. What's it looking like for the midfield there? Heat again, a fantastic launch ahead of Jasper as we're on board with Marco. A little bit of contact between Heated and Farrell. A bit of front wing flying off as school there getting it done as we got Heated and Jasper side by side there as we got Farrell and Alex battling it out for P4. Kieran looking over the back of Alex for P5. Old School keeping it nice and calm at the moment in P9. He has been jumped by Ghost Recon there, so Ghost getting himself up a position as we've got Jasper and Farrell there battling out, and it looks like Farrell's lost out massively because there goes Alex, who's going to look to the outside of Jasper. We're going to be on board for this with Farrell, and a lovely little switch back there from Heated to get himself up into the race lead as he got the traction to get it done. Alex has managed to get the move done on Jasper, and here goes, oh my god, absolute slow down there from Alex there. I'm wondering, did he has actually Farrell there losing a lot of speed as it's 3 wide into turn 12. Cam K, Farrell and Jasper. Keep it clean, lads, keep it clean. Oh, it looks like Alex is going straight into the back of Farrell, and he does get the move done on Cloudy Cloud and is up into the race lead. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of action as we got Farrell and Jasper still side by side battling out. They're still side by side. Oh, there's millimeters between them. So it looks like Jasper able to hold on to P4 as Cam K picks up the first penalty. It looks like Old School has managed to get back past as it looks like they oh no, Old School has just been smashed straight up the back end by I believe that was Jordan. Yeah, Jordan with no front wing to his name. We've got a lot of ghosting going around right now. Yellow flags are out and they have gone back in. We do have the timing glitch going on as it currently is. Mushroom. Alright, here we go. Timings are going to start to sort themselves out, hopefully. As Old School and Old School and Dirt Tim locked with each other. They were both ghosting for me, but locked with each other, driving both of each other into the wall. Oh, that was Jasper. They're losing the back end. That's gonna actually it hasn't opened things up for RJW because RJW is a bit behind. But I would love to know what went on there between Old School and Dirt Tim. Old School was going about his race absolutely fine until he got absolutely punted in the final corner. As Farrell now down the inside of Cloudy Cloud for third place, and he's able to get the move done. I'm glad we was able to catch that on stream. This looks like Mushroom trying to get through on the ghosted car of Turbo. Old School leaving the session. Actually, is Mushroom here? It's Jasper's retired. Jasper, oh no, he's lost it in the waters. Mushroom having a little look down the inside of Hartman there, and he does get ahead, and Mushroom now up into 8th, Turbo in 9th, Hartman now down into 10th. As we got people into the pit lane early on, Ghost Recon retiring from the session. I believe Jordan will probably follow suit as well, perhaps. So we've lost Dirt Tim, Old School, Jasper, and now Ghost Recon as it is all kicking off here in pre-season, and probably some strong words will be mentioned to each other after the race, of course, as Cloudy Cloud holds P4 ahead of Alex, but Alex does have, you would think, the better pace, and here comes the overspeed from Alex, and he'll go sweeping around the outside hopefully, but it looks like Cloudy Cloud's outbroken him and has gone deep to avoid the switchback, but it doesn't happen because Alex still gets a switchback anyway. And now Alex now up into P4, and I don't think Mushroom is here because it is looking like these two are just glued together, and it looks like two AI cars just running simultaneously within each other. And that's some Peggy 18 stuff right there. And now we got Kieran looking at the back of Cloudy Cloud. Oh, he gets the back end out. And RJW now joining the back of this battle as we got Foul Fury trying to close up to Cam K Mum for second place. He head comfortably out in the race lead right now. But we stay on board with we'll stay on board with the battle for 4P for this four-way battle. We'll go on board with RJW, who is at the back of this train. So I believe Hartman should have the pace to get away from the AI as Ibo is into the pits before he set the mediums, and it'll be close between him and Jordan, so they're going to have their own little battle at the back as we got this lovely four-way scrap going on for P4. Looks like Kieran has got a decent run on Cloudy Cloud, but is he going to be close enough to go for a move? Doesn't look like it, and RJW is going to have to stick behind as well. Well, Farrell over the back of Cam K for second place. However, he does have a penalty to his name. Does Farrell, and Hartman still dicing it out there with two AIs as Kieran tries around the outside of Cloudy Cloud. Tries to cut back underneath there for the better exit, and oh my god, he has left the session. He has left the session. The race leader he's gone. How unfortunate can it be? He was in a great position in the featured race to battle Old School 3000 for the race win. Loses the back end, and ends up dropping down to P5 as we got Farrell and Kamke side by side trying to get a good camera angle on it, and that is Farrell now up into second place as we got Kieran getting through on Cloudy Cloud. In fact, Cloudy Cloud's going to come back at him as they go side by side into the S's, and Kieran there smartly backs out, and RJDW there just sticking it in behind for the time being. So yeah, as I was going to say, Heated, so unfortunate. He was effectively the only man who could have taken the battle to Old School in the featured race. He loses the back end, loses any hope of battling for the race win. Meanwhile, we got the battle for second going on. Farrell, Fury and Cam K. Mum. And it looks like Cam K with DRS should be able to get this done. And yes, he does. Cuts back in front of Farrell Fury, who will try perhaps for the switchback. Got to get it done. RJDW meanwhile does get the move done on Cloudy Cloud, and is now up into 6th place. So RJ, it's queuing there, a little bit of a snap that might open things up for RJ. Is he going to try anything? No, he's going to stick behind Kieran for the time being, but that back end is getting very loose there on the pink brake slab of Kieran there, as he is losing the back end at every opportunity. And it looks like RJ does have the superior pace and will probably get past him on the run up now into turn 1. DRS wide open now for RJDW, tucked right underneath the rear wing. He's going to move to the inside. We're on board with Cloudy Cloud to make sure there's no contact going on, and it looks like Jay does get the move down. Kieran unable to take advantage of the switchback. Meanwhile, the AI battle of Mushroom and Turbo is starting to heat up, as well as Hartman is into the pits as we got a foul over the back of Kamke for P2. And if Kamke does get pressurized into a mistake, picking up a 3-second time penalty, then it's not going to look so good. This battle would actually be for a net P2 as RJ picking up a 3-second time penalty of his own, but he needs to try and pull away from Kieran and Cloudy as Jordan able to get past Hartman, who is in the pits. Ibo will remain in 12th. As here we go, Farrell down the inside of Kamke. These two side by side, wheel to wheel, and it is Farrell who comes out on top this time around. And so RJDW able to stretch his legs. He's starting to pull out that gap, and he's outside that 1 second window now for Kieran to have DRS. So we'll go with this battle, which, regardless of the AI battle between Mushroom and Turbo, this is the closest battle that we have. Kamke has actually dropped out of the DRS of Farrell Fury there. I completely forgot I didn't have any of the graphics up for you guys. But it is looking like Farrell does have better pace right now, but does have that 3-second time penalty, which may come back and hurt him. Actually, has 6 seconds, so Farrell may be looking to drop multiple positions here. And we'll go on board with our race leader as we wait for a battle to commence, because the Peggy 18 battle of the ghosts of Mushroom and Turbo is not what we like to see. We don't like seeing that kind of stuff. I can't condone it. I really can't. Lap 7 of 11, he did. The man out in the lead right now. 2.5 seconds the gap between him and Farrell Fury in second place, with that 6-second time penalty He is going to drop back. But the question is, can Alex and RJW close up enough to take advantage of that 6-second time penalty when they both have, I believe, 3 seconds of their own? And yes, they do. But it looks like RJDW right now possibly has the best pace of anyone, because he is closing up pretty decently to Alex, and Alex not too far off the back of Cam K. Looks like Cam K may be losing a bit of pace there, as Jordan and Ibo there having a bit of a scrap, and Jordan getting through as well. Look at this. This is some naughty stuff. Peggy 18 stuff right here between Mushroom and Turbo. Can't condone it, but it looks like Turbo, his AI is actually getting the better of the AI of Mushroom. As I say that, Mushroom gets back in the P8. So, right now, lap 8 heated, comfortably out in front. He's taking things calm. Oh, it's a foul there with a bit of a back end slap, and that's going to allow Cam K, Alex and RJW to close up slightly, as we got Kieran doing a similar thing there in the back. And Farrell, he can't afford to be making these kind of mistakes, because he will end up losing a podium position if he continues with it. We're going both with RJDW, currently in P5, trying to catch up to the back of Alex. These guys level on penalties, and it looks like RJ does have the better pace and should be able to catch. But the question is, will he catch in time to be able to get past? And if he does get past, will he be able to put the 6-second penalty of Farrell under pressure? That is the question. Let me know in the chat, what do you guys think will happen? Will Farrell keep a hold of that final step on the podium? Can Alex close up? Will RJW close up? Let me know in the chat your predictions now. Lap 9 of 11. I just peeked at the chat 2 seconds. I see Frankie was very disappointed that Jasper unfortunately DNFing from this race. Look at that, RJW now all over the back of Alex, and this is crucial. If RJ can get past Alex quickly enough and close up the Cam K enough, who Cam K is looking comfortable right now to get this second place. As we're on lap 10 of 11. If Farrell picks up another 3-second time penalty, it could be all over here. As we got obviously the heated, just taking things nice and calm, and now RJDW in P5 trying to make it P4. Two laps to go. Can he do it? As Farrell picks up another 3-second time penalty. Now this is crucial. What's the gap? At the moment, Farrell will be dropping down into P5. Farrell picking up a 3-second time penalty, another one. And as long as Alex and RJ can keep clean on penalties now, they will be able to jump ahead of Farrell. But which one will be on the podium? Will it be RJ? Will it be Alex? Alex there moves to defend it, holds the middle ground, and will keep ahead of RJ for one more lap. That might be a mistake because it looks like Alex may just about try to sneak the DRS of Camke, but RJW, he's looking rapid right now as our race leader is coming through the penultimate corner and through the final corner now to start the final lap of the sprint race. RJ has very few opportunities. This is one of them. Is he going to be close enough? He moves to the inside. He is going to outbrake Alex down the inside, and he's going to get himself up into P4, which will be a net podium position now. All he has to do is keep it clean on penalties, and he's looking at P3. But Alex, he's got to stick right behind RJ. Get as close as he can to use his DRS on the back straight to maybe try something down into turns 12, as it looks like RJ there really just, he's using every bit of the track he actually can, but he hasn't got DRS on Camke. What's the traction going to be like for Alex? Alex runs wide, unable to get the car turned in enough, and I think that has sealed it. It looks like RJ will be looking at the final step of the podium. There's actually borderline right now between Alex keeping P4 right now. As we come around the final few corners, it is Heated, who has kept it calm, kept it composed, and will cross the line to take first place here in the sprint race as we come for the final corner for the final time here in the pre-season at the Circuit of the Americas. Is Heated that will cross the line in first ahead of Farrell Fury, and who will... Oh, Camke actually gets the win. RJW will pick up P3, and Alex, look at that gap, 2 hundredths of a second. Alex loses out on P4 as Kieran crosses the line in 6th place ahead of Cloudy Cloud in 7th. Then we got the Peggy 18 battle. Which AI is coming out on top? Is it going to be Mushroom? Is it going to be Turbo? The AI battle is on. Oh, look at this now. The Peggy 18 battle goes to Mushroom as he's able to stay ahead of Turbo there at the end. And it looks like Jordan Hartman and Ibo will come across the line as they are. The gaps are pretty substantial between the three of them. But look at that gap. Alex and Farrell, they're 2 hundredths of a second separate them. And if Alex didn't make that mistake by running off the track in his pursuit to try and catch up to RJ, he may have been able to get that P4, but he did. I think must have got a very late penalty there, because he ends up losing the race lead, the race win to Camke. So once again, he had victory in the palms of his grasp. He was within his reach, and on 2 occasions it has gone the other way. And now we wait for Ibo to cross the line as he comes to the final corner, and that will end the pre-season races. Next week though, we will be getting underway. RJDW gets the in-game driver of the day, and I have to agree with it, for the sprint race. As he has commented in the chat, he said he thinks that more than makes up for the last race. I believe that it does as well, but Kamke on the top step of the podium in the sprint race, heated, losing out a second time. Hashtag heated bottle in the chat as Kamke top step of the podium, heated in second, then RJDW on the final spot of that podium. And here we go for the results one more time. Kamke is the winner of the sprint race ahead of heated in second, RJW third, Farrell able to hold on to P4 by 0.02 of a second ahead of Alex in fifth, Kieran in sixth, Cloudy Cloud seventh, Mushroom and Turbo, whose AIs were having a Peggy 18 battle, in 8th and 9th, Jordan in 10th, Hartman in 11th, Ibo in 12th, and our non-finishers were Ghost Recon, Jasper, Old School, the feature race winner, and Tim. And that brings an end to the pre-season races and brings an end to the coverage here tonight. Next week the season begins and we head to the Bahrain International Circuit in Shakir, and we will be heading to the deserts for what should be a very exciting opening round of the F2 Championship. I have been your commentator, Ivor Bryn Mike. Make sure you guys go and check out the Lobby 1 race as well, and we'll catch you next week for when the season gets underway in Bahrain. But until then, it's good night from me. Keep safe and have a very happy new year to everyone in the chat. Until then, guys, have a good one.